Hello, folks. I am back here on the mic. All right, I want to make a little response to my friend, Mrs. Omar, Adrena Omar, over on Facebook. She made an interesting post, and I want to talk a bit about it, or I should say, I want to ramble a little bit about this. All right. So she says, when you learn a foreign language, just give yourself 1 year to master the grammar. If someone is trying to buy you that grammar is not important, just tell him, her, BS. Grammar is definitely important for adult learning. Just try to distinguish between language acquisition and language learning. Children can acquire language easily, but as adults, we have to learn the rules. Accept it. There's no shortcut. So I thought that was a very interesting post. I liked it too. Although there are some things I don't agree with, and of course there's some I agree with some, and then there's some that I don't agree with. Now I totally agree with you about about adults need to we have to learn the rules. I agree with that because we can learn like children, but we have this we're more aware of things. We're more aware of things, and we want to try to get things right. And with the child, a child can't do that. A child doesn't know what's going on. When the child makes a mistake, they don't understand the mistake. When someone's laughing at them, they don't understand that. But we as adults do. So we tend to try to learn the rules to get everything correct. Now, grammar is definitely, you said that grammar is not, what did you say? If someone is trying to buy you that grammar is not important. I don't know. I guess it all depends on the person and what they're trying to do. Now, if you're a linguist, you're just trying to learn a science, just learn, how the language works, then a lot of them tend to take a grammatical approach. They don't necessarily learn the language. They just take a grammatical approach and just try to understand the language. They need the grammar. But if you're trying to you want to be able to speak the language, you want to be able to communicate, then not necessarily at the beginning do you need grammar. You really don't. But it's understandable that all of us are different. Like some people who don't have experience, they don't know how to approach a language. So what they do is take a grammatical approach. Why? Because a lot of them are adults. We've been through school already. We went through grammar school, English grammar school. Our minds are already set to try to take a grammatical approach to try to understand things. So someone who doesn't have experience will probably take that approach. You do have exceptions, but there are shortcuts. When you start to learn languages, the more languages you learn, you start to come up with different shortcuts, and this is what happened with me. I tried to, when I first started learning language, I tried to take a grammatical approach several times, and it was moving slowly. It was moving very, very slowly, and it was frustrating because I couldn't understand. I couldn't wrap my mind around a lot of the terms and the explanations. So what I did was just went on ahead and started memorizing things. Just started playing with the language, learning phrases, using them on native speakers, doing that for a certain period of time. And then, after a certain period of time, things just start to grow on you, and you will start to understand why things are the way they are. This is just how things work. But again, not everyone will take this approach because this is something that you have to do through experience. I did this just through testing, because like I said, I was frustrated. So you don't necessarily need grammar at the beginning, and I don't recommend it. Now again, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that grammar is bad and we shouldn't study grammar. I'm not saying that. And I'm not saying that I hate grammar, because I don't. I love grammar. However, I'm not an advocate of learning grammar at the beginning. And why? Just because of what I just explained. Because it's so, depending on the language too, it can be confusing. It could be discouraging. Once you get stuck on something, you try to make sense of it. And you're going to give up on the language. I've seen this happen many times. And I was one of those people who almost gave up. Like Russian was one of them. Russian, I went out and got a Russian grammar book, and I was trying to study the grammar. And I really wanted to give up Russian. I didn't want to learn it again because of that. So I just start memorizing stuff. And now a lot of the stuff makes sense to me. I mean, I need to work. I still need to work with my Russian. No, I need to improve, but that's not the point in this video. I felt more comfortable when I started just learning things naturally. Okay, and to me, it's a fun thing to do. It's fun to learn phrases and use the phrases on native speakers, and then eventually just let it, you get used to it. So I'm doing this right now for Czech. I'm not learning grammar. Now, I'm learning some grammar. Okay, I'm learning some grammar. I believe that if you're at the beginning stage, you can learn some grammar. Go through some grammar books, just skim through it and try to get an understanding of it, but not so heavy grammar. Just kind of look at it and say, okay, personal pronoun, this ending is on this personal pronoun, something simple, something very, very, very simple. Okay, that's what I've been doing right now. I'm almost 5 months in for Czech, and that's basically what I've been doing. I've been going through a little bit of grammar at a time, but still I'm in the stage of learning things naturally through context and just using them on native speakers. Now, you said after a year of mastering the grammar, I believe once a year passes, that's when I'm going to boost up my grammar study. I'm going to study grammar rigorously. I'm going to study it rigorously because at that time, I will have a strong foundation in the language. I will have that foundation. I will have the language inside of me. So when I come across a grammar point or whatever, an explanation, I'm already going to know how to construct that. I'm already going to be able to construct that sentence. It's just the explanation of why it was constructed that way. I'm going to be able to understand because I already know how to do it, So for me, I would wait till a year, like you said, a year, and then start studying language rigorously. Studying the grammar rigorously. Studying grammar rigorously at the beginning, it's no. That's just for me. I just, to each his own. But for me, I can't do that. I just can't do it. I have to have a language inside of me first. Then I go and study the grammar. So at the beginning stage, basically, just learn phrases, play with the language, have fun with it, and I'll say after about 3 to 4 months, then you can start glancing at the grammar, looking at some different points, light grammar. Then once you get by, I'll say 6 months, around 6 months, between 6 to 10 months, something like that, 8 months, I think, 6 to 8 months, then you can boost up your grammar study because you're going to feel by 6 months, you're going to start feeling a lot of stuff. Like a lot of stuff is going to start making sense to you, so you can start really looking into grammar. But again, just kind of light grammar. And then after a year, you should feel very, very comfortable. You may still be limited in some things, but I guarantee you after a year, you will feel super comfortable. And then when you go study grammar, it won't be that much of a big deal for you because you will have already built up a lot of experience using that language. So I think your post was good. It was a good post. Like I said, I just didn't totally agree with everything, but there are some things I do agree with. I agree that us as adults, we tend to have to need the grammar, have to study the grammar because how our brains work. We've already been through grammar school, and we're totally aware of making mistakes and what people think about us, so we want to get the rules right. That's what separates us from the child. Children don't know, they don't understand, so they don't need grammar. They don't understand this whole process. But I think that we could still learn like a child, but it'll be difficult, but we could still learn like a child. So that's it. That's it for this video. I just want to make a little response to that. Again, great post. And let me know what you guys think. I know we've had a lot of discussions about this, but this always come up. And I think it's good to discuss it since we have new people coming to the channel and all that good stuff. So that's it for this video. Let me know what you guys think about this video response or whatever you want to do. In the meantime, thanks for viewing. I'm about to eat some oatmeal, some eggs, and waffles. And I'll talk to you guys here shortly.